SoFi investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason, and the stock keeps going and going and going and going, and we continue to make some cash. How high can SoFi go? Is $25 in the near future for SoFi? We hit a 52-week high if you look at your screen right now. We just hit a 52-week high today if you take a look at your screen right now. 1892, 52-week high. If we go over to Robinhood, we can see intraday what's happening. We are selling off a little bit, but I don't hate that too much because I do have some covered calls that are very close to the money, right? So what are my thoughts on the stock moving forward? Can this forward momentum continue into the 20s, maybe up to $25, $30 by the end of the year, right? A lot of positive momentum. Over the last week, up 21%. Over the last month, over 35%. The last 3 months, 61%. I love it. Year to date, we're beating the market up 21%. Over the last calendar year, up 176%, guys. I've been banging the drum on SoFi over the last year and a half. And if you followed, subscribed to this channel like you should, you'd be making an absolute killing in the stock market right now. Up almost 200% from last summer. Absolutely incredible stuff, guys. I'm excited. But it's not all rainbows and sunshine in SoFi land, right? I'm going to keep it real. That's what we do here on this channel. Jason Amaral talks finance. I want to give you the skinny, the real. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm going to tell you like it is. That's why you got to subscribe to the channel. All right, if we take a look at the market cap, closing in on $20 billion, guys. And as we get closer to $20 billion, the closer we can get into the S&P 500. I absolutely love that. Forward PE is the highest it's been in quite some time, right? 58.14. There is some growth baked in to that forward PE. Obviously, that's why it's a little bit less than what it was, back in March of 2024. But PEG ratio over 3. You don't really love that. We want to see PEG ratios closing in under 2, right? For us to be buyers of the stock. I'm holding my shares right now. I'm not necessarily adding to the position right now. Currently, I do own over 5,000 shares of SoFi stock right now, just for some transparency. Price to book ratio closing in on 3, guys. Another number we want probably under 2 if we're going to be buyers of the stock. But the stock is, and this company is, in pretty good financial health, in my opinion. Operating margins over the last trailing 12 months, that's what TTM stands for, right around 10%. Profit margin around 17%. I absolutely love that. Revenue over the trailing 12 months coming in right around $3 billion. We're getting there, guys. Getting there, getting there. Total cash on hand over $2 billion. But the debt, $3.2 billion, right? So we want to see those numbers flip. I would love to see total cash over $3 billion and total debt over, under 2, in my opinion, right? So most banks carry a huge, enormous debt load, so it's not anything to be like freaking out about, right? So this company is newly profitable, so the levered free cash flow over the trailing 12 months has not registered yet. But we are profitable, right? So EPS growth is strong and earnings are on the horizon, guys, right? We're getting closer and closer to earnings. We go over to Robinhood, we could see it is expected July 29th. So we're closing in at the end of June. So we're about a month away, about 4 weeks away from earnings, right? So the light gray is what's expected. Dark green is what we came in at. We have been consistently beating earnings quarter over quarter, which I absolutely love. I think people are kind of getting out in front of all this good news that has been released. I do want to play a video that SoFi just released on their Instagram on Mad Money. So let's pull that up real quick, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this interview.
We're a digital-only company, so we need to use technology to provide all of these services to you. We want you to have the ability to pay anybody, anywhere, any way that you want. And so one of the products we're launching, international payments, will allow you to use US dollars to pay someone in a foreign country in their local fiat currency. That dollar will be transferred into Bitcoin, transmitted over the blockchain, and then at the destination converted back into fiat currency. Today, the remittance market or international market is close to $100 billion from the US. We think we can provide a service that's faster, cheaper, more accessible, and most importantly, very secure. In addition to that, we know our members want to invest in cryptocurrency. We used to offer the product, but we didn't take past as the future. So we went out and asked our members, and 60% of our members would like to have cryptocurrency offered from someone like SoFi that is a nationally licensed bank. And that is a big change. In the past, banks couldn't offer buying and selling cryptocurrency, but they can now. And so our bank license is now useful, not just to take deposits that are insured and lend them, but to actually provide a very safe and reliable way to buy and sell cryptocurrency.
All right, SoFi investors, that was Anthony Noto's interview from Mad Money a few days ago. And I do think this recent run-up in the stock has a lot to do with what's happening underneath the surface of SoFi with this global remittance service and the SoFi crypto going back onto the platform. All really huge opportunities for SoFi to expand their revenue streams. I absolutely love it. There is a little disclosure at the end of this video talking about the crypto investing services to be offered by a SoFi affiliated entity subject to applicable regulatory approval. So we need to get approved first. So it's probably going to happen a little bit later in the year, but I think investors are starting to get out in front of it early. And also with interest rates probably coming down maybe once or twice and then the later 6 months of this year, it's really going to help benefit SoFi with refinances, right? Especially in that mortgage sector, big time loans. I do love the ability for SoFi to help people refinance these bloated interest rate loans and kind of help. It's a win-win situation. We're helping out these customers, and obviously, SoFi is going to make a ton of money off those refis over time, right? Which is great stuff. So, where do I ultimately think SoFi is going to land after earnings, running up to earnings? I think we might touch $20 before earnings. And if something crazy happens in earnings, we could run up after that. But I do think the stock is getting out ahead of itself a little bit. As you can see by the price to book, the price to earnings growth ratios, the PE ratios, they're all a little bloated right now. But that's not to say that this stock can't continue to run up. Sometimes when sentiment is extremely positive, all kind of rationale goes out the window. Just look at Palantir stock. So if SoFi got to $25-30 after earnings, I wouldn't be completely surprised, but I think we're probably going to settle in that $20 to $22 range and then potentially sell off after earnings. This stock does have a history of doing that quarter after quarter. So if it kind of sold off back into that 16 to 1850 range, I wouldn't be surprised at all whatsoever, guys. So be careful buying at these levels. I know there's a lot of hopium right now with the stock, a lot of FOMO happening. We've got to buy. But sometimes when SoFi sells off, it happens fast, right? So unless you're investing for the long term, be careful, right? I'm kind of holding my shares, selling some cash secured puts in that $17, $16, $15 range over the next, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, guys. That's kind of my game plan going forward. I think over $20 is definitely possible, and we're going to close in at all-time highs before the end of the year, in my opinion. I think $25 is doable by December, in my opinion. All right, guys, if you want more SoFi updates, more stock market updates, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Peace.